Hello.
Hiya. Hope everybody's doing well tonight.
Yep. Most of us. Are we doing okay here? How's everybody feeling over in non-Witchlight land?
Great. Yeah.
Yep.
Kicking the new year off to a good start.
Yep, it's... Woo!
Do you want to hear the silly thing that I'm excited about the
This
new
is
year?
it. What's that?
The fact that now that we're through the holidays, I think people are going to slow down on traveling and visiting and special things, which means we get back to gaming.
This is sort of like forced, though, isn't it? It's not like because those things are done, people are slowing down. I feel like there's another reason people are slowing down and not traveling or going anywhere. But
that doesn't exist here.
Nope. There's no plague in the Feywild that we know of yet.
We like to.
Is there a plague in the Feywild?
What was that, Brandon?
I was like, there's no plague in the Feywild that we know of?
No, not that you know of.
Yeah, here's hoping.
Speaking of plagues in the Feywild or other D&D worlds, there's a few games where I've, in the last couple of years, that I've run where there's been like that theme of like, hey, there's a plague in the world and this is a problem. And like, I've just kind of like, I don't want to run this and skipped over it or just like done it super fast. Has anybody played in games that have had like that as a challenge and just felt like this is not what I want to do?
One of the first things that I did once the pandemic hit and we're all gaming via Zoom was I ran a little mini adventure called Rats of Waterdeep.
Yeah.
That was a couple different plagues. And that was plague everywhere. And just like there were, I mean, it was written pre-pandemic, way pre-pandemic, but there were like the people who were worshiping the Rat Queen and they wanted to get the plague to become closer to her. I'm like, oh, this is a little bit truer than I thought.
We played that. You ran that for us. Do you remember? Mm-hmm. You ran it for a couple other people too, I take it. So I think when you ran it for us, you'd already sort of
ironed out a few.
Debuted it somewhere else.
Yeah, I played one game of that, and then I got the pandemic sads and just kind of didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, I'm in a game still with my friends back in Pittsburgh, PA, and we're in the Greyhawk setting during the era of the Red Death, which is specifically a virus plague that's creeping across the land. And that the world was started before pandemic started. Like my friend started the story there. So like after about 8 months of playing, pandemic started. We were like, so we're not really going to do that as a theme anymore, right? We're going to change it. Okay, wait, time travel? It's time travel? Awesome. Cool. Let's do time travel. Let's not do plague stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder if sales of the board game Pandemic went up or down.
I was wondering the same thing, just through the floor. Just
maybe at the beginning, people were like, "This will be a fad." And now you've got somebody like that. The same people that have like a garage full of toilet paper probably have like a storage room full of like inappropriate games.
For a lot of the pandemic, I was still a classroom teacher, and I worked Albert Camus' The Plague into my curriculum for the seniors because of current events. They were less than thrilled.
I mean, I think there's something cathartic about dealing with that in a game setting where you can actually deal with it and put an end to it.
Yeah.
And then put it away and move on. As opposed to
really good point.
Yeah.
Really good.
This is funny. All these were way back at the beginning of everything, though, where we thought that that's what was going to happen, too.
Right.
We can just deal with this and move on.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's half the fun of D&D is the fantasy of agency. There's so much in our world that's outside of our control. It can be really hard to deal with. So we come to Fantasylands where we play heroes who shape the world.
Yeah. Cast magic at it and then hit it with a stick.
Save the day and go home.
Speaking of agency, let's talk about the agency of the Wild Beyond the Witchlight and where you are right now. You've basically been tasked to do chores for Bavlorna Blightstraw. running errands, and running errands, doing chores, doing her dirty work. This is like Dirty Jobs Feywild edition or something.
Well, but I feel like the tasks that we've been given are actually, they don't seem super difficult. We're like halfway done already.
Did cleaning out or unplugging the pool sound difficult?
No. I did take some damage, but
it took I'm alive. A little bit of doing, but I think
in exchange for getting your memories back. I mean, I feel like perhaps we made a pretty good deal so far. We'll see.
Something tells me there's some hag trickery afoot, though.
Yeah.
Or, flipper, frog foot, hand. I don't know.
Flappy hand, clappy claw. Is that what you're talking about? Clapperclaw?
Like frog feet, I guess. I was trying to make a Bevlorna joke. She's like,
oh.
I realized frogs just have feet. They don't have any. It's not called anything else.
Her froggy-like feet or something.
Webs.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be hard to sort of make fun of or poke fun of a figure that looks like a frog and doesn't seem to care that she does. Seems to revel in it. All right, so after you'd gotten these tasks from Bavlorna, you did one right away. You cleaned out the blob basically in her well that supplies water to the pool that she likes to spend time in. Didn't realize it was going to be quite maybe as hazardous as it was, but you were successful and you survived and made her happy with step one. And sort of fell right into step two. As soon as you left the cottage, you began to make your way around Downfall and ended up at the Soggy Court, which is where King Gollop holds court for the rest of the bullywugs in Downfall. You met with him and immediately upon arrival noticed that he had this big black book in his lap and was reading it. And very quickly, as soon as you had mentioned any interest in it, was more than happy to hand it over and basically wash his hands of how this thing ended up in his possession, hoping to maybe curry favor with Bavlorna by having you return it. Maybe too afraid to do it himself, who knows? And then right after that meeting, just as you were leaving the Soggy Court to begin dealing with some of these other problems you've promised to solve, a note was slipped into your hands by someone in the court, someone planning another coup in Downfall, someone who told you to find Illig, the Baron of Muckstump. And Callie, you were talking talking a little bit about this right before we jumped on. What were your thoughts again?
My thoughts were that I did not exactly want to get embroiled in the politics of a bunch of tadpoles.
Yeah, this doesn't seem
like
to have
something
anything.
I would be interested in.
This task seems to have nothing to do with Bavlorna and maybe doesn't have any benefit to you, at least not yet. But someone is trying to involve you in the goings on here. You are making your way back, I think, along the bridge in the direction of the balloon factory that you had rescued, saved from the little fiery coals a while back. At this point, Clapperclaw is with you, kind of just toddling along behind you like a weird scarecrow-like child with big crab claws for hands. Every once in a while, his head shaking and a little rattled inside from dried seeds or something in the gourd that he's using as a head shake about.
Does it have a mouth and eyes, or is it?
No, it does not. It has no mouth, no eyes. Oh, when he speaks, you just hear him. You hear his voice, sort of disembodied from that direction.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of better than it having a face.
Do you remember the face that he described? Do you remember the head that he's trying to recover?
I don't know.
No.
Well, Sophia would.
It's a skull. It's a deer's, a stag's skull with antlers. And the way he describes it sounds kind of horrific. He's like, it's beautiful, and it has long horns, and it's made of this white material. Probably doesn't even realize it's from like a dead animal.
I don't know. I think Sam's kind of into that. He's like, all right, man, you do you.
We'll help you out.
So this is sort of where we stand right now. What's your decision as to what you're going to go? What you're going to do next? Are you sticking around town? There was also, as you were leaving Bavlorna's cottage, the Darkling Charm had bumped into you at the bottom, a little upset that you sort of outed her to Bavlorna, at least outed that her shadow was missing and that she was acting a little suspicious. Kind of mistook her for someone else.
Yep.
Any thoughts on that?
Have we returned the book yet?
No.
I don't think yet.
I think we should probably do that before anything else.
Yeah.
I agree. I think getting rid of this thing as soon as possible would be best.
All right, so you're going to return to the cottage. You hop on Lettuce B and you float across the lagoon, the little lake lagoon of Downfall towards the center, back into the mists and towards the stilts and the stairs that rise up from the lake to the lowest levels of the cottage. You arrive back in the that first level where the preservation pool is now in full, order. Bavlorna is floating around in it still, and you have this book in your possession. What do you do? Who has it? Who returns it? What do you say?
Silvera.
Yeah, I was clinging one arm permanently around that thing. Lady Blight's straw. We have your book.
Lady. He calls me lady.
I am a she, thank you.
She? Are you really? I can't tell the difference sometimes. All the bullywugs look the same.
Yeah.
Must make dating kind of confusing, but, that's just not me.
And I'm going to set the thing down, and I'm going to untie it, and I'm going to throw open the folds of what is now probably a mucus-soaked cloak.
Do you keep the cloak, or you just leave it open so that she can see the book?
I will open it, and I will let her take the book. I'm not going to touch it.
So she doesn't even touch it either. She kind of floats around in this pool watching you from a distance as you unwrap this and put this on the stairs where she can see it. When she does, her eyes light up a bit, these big googly eyes that she's got. She's like, ooh, yes, you found it. Excellent, excellent. Yes, just leave it right there. And she calls out towards the stairs, go grab my book, put it back where it belongs. And one of those little lornling creatures comes zipping around the sort of walkway that surrounds the pool. It moves so fast that you can barely see it, but suddenly it's standing at the book, and it's got its hands on it, and it looks up at Silvera with these big froggy eyes that kind of mirror Bavlorna's. It just blinks at you once, and then something's a blur, and it and the book are gone. Your cloak left behind.
We'll fold up my cloak and hold it in a bundle under my arm.
Dripping a little bit of goo.
Mm-hmm.
Says, good. Second thing done so quickly, too. Where did you find it? Who stole my book?
Well, we don't know who stole it, but King Gullop did find it.
King Gullop.
Yeah, we ran into him and he asked us to bring it back to you as a favor to him and to you. So that's a twofer, really.
King Gullop had my book.
Did. And he was attempting to read it.
He said he found it near a tree.
Did he? And was he?
I believe he was lying.
Vera.
What? It's the honest thing to do. He was.
Honest.
Well, he was definitely nervous. He was very eager to give us the book to give back to you.
Well, he should be nervous. He should know better. Might be time for a new king in Downfall.
Give Silvera a significant look.
I don't think killing him would be the right course of action. I
Are you trying to tell me how to run things here?
No. I just...
Are you trying to tell me how to think?
So, quest number 3, let's go find that package, right?
Yeah. Where's the post office? And I'm just going to kind of like fade to the back.
Before we go, Your Eminence, I had a question. Do you know how to disenchant something?
I do, yes. Enchantments are sort of my thing.
Oh, good. I take my pack off and start pulling out the animated armor and setting pieces around. Not so
all the pieces are like sort of mimicking you as you put them down. So like the hands are sort of flopping like dead fish. Boots are trying to walk.
This armor, it's real nice, but we just can't use it like this. Do you know?
Are you asking me for another favor?
Well, I mean, we are doing 4 for you. Yeah.
You'd like to do a 5th, I see.
Maybe that depends on what it is. Can you do it? Can you?
Of course I can do it. And then she seems to kind of like catch herself and relax in the pool.
Well, I would expect nothing less from someone so grand as yourself. What would the 5th task?
She seems a little perturbed that you're kind of like trying to eke out something special from her. And she says, I don't have any more things I need right now. I will think about it. You can leave that there and return for it, and maybe I'll have an idea then.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. I take out all the pieces of the armor and set them. Would you like me to put them back together for you? Or just leave them like this?
No, just leave them there like that. They look nice, just scattered about.
I want to try to, are there shelves or something? Can I arrange them?
There are some shelves. You're going to have to clean a space though, because there's dirty dishes and cups and moldy food and rotten stuff everywhere. It's just, there's not a clean space to put anything down.
So I do try to make space for them, but I can't help making some little disapproving noises as I go. Ooh. Wipe a finger along it, just shake my head.
You just clean part of her wall. There's maybe a film on just everything, and once you start, you realize you haven't even you've cleaned a spot up, but there's just nasty stuff everywhere.
Well, just enough to give the armor somewhere nice to sit.
All right. And it takes you a little while to get it kind of piled up, because every time you've got it sort of set just right, you got to move back, and the armor tries to mimic you, and some piece will fall off back onto the ground and start high, and the rest of it starts jiggling.
What about, is this the room with the mannequins? Is she in her pool? I didn't catch where we are. Okay.
Yes, you're in the first level of the cottage. That's where the pool is. The mannequins are the mannequins are on the far side. There's a couple doors in here as well that lead to other rooms you haven't looked in.
Do you really want the mannequins following us around in that thing?
Well, no, you hear from Silvera.
I was just thinking 1 piece per mannequin, but okay. This is good enough. We can go. Thank you, your majesticness. And I give Bavlorna a bow.
Of course, your highness. We will see you again soon.
Real soon, yeah. We're going to be back in a jiffy.
Yes. I'll make sure to think of something very nice that you can do for me.
Right.
Once we're out of earshot, I'm just going to turn to Thorn and be like, why are you asking her for more favors?
Yeah, bad idea.
I'm sorry. Well, the frog guy and the king, he said that she's the one who does enchantings. I'm not sure that was a good idea.
Yeah, let's just get through these next couple of tasks before we start piling anything else on our plate.
Perhaps if we go back and say that we've changed our minds, it will be fine, and we can just pack it up and go.
We got to come back here to deliver her mail in anyway.
Yeah.
What's the deal with that again? Aren't we supposed to collect a package?
Yeah, from a guy.
It's Ugg Funk Stink Bottom? That is an incredible name.
He was lost in a swamp, wasn't he?
Oh, he's lost?
I
Shoot.
think that's what she said.
She said that he was a hunter who collected taxidermic animals and beasts for her, and that he hadn't returned from the swamps, and that he owes her something. Said he was bringing something to her, but hasn't returned.
Let's go talk to Clapperclaw. Maybe he knows what swamp this is that people go hunting in.
Right.
You descend from the cottage down into a swamp. Who knows if it's the swamp? Clapperclaw is hanging out there with Lettuce B still, just kind of chilling because he wants nothing to do with going up into the cottage. What do you say to him?
Clapperclaw, so I'm just wondering, where would somebody go if they were a hunter in this moshy swamp area?
Well, that depends on what they're trying to hunt.
Well, they were hunting for Bavlorna, I believe, so whatever she's into, which I'm a little
that'd
afraid
be
to ask.
something weird.
Probably.
Something weird and scary, most likely. She's got all the regular things there, from what I hear. Any sort of animal that she's seen, she's got a collection of them. I think she even sticks different animals together.
Oh,
Well-
that's horrifying.
Oh, I know, it sounds awful, says this scarecrow with claws and a gourd for a head and weird boots and sticks for legs.
I was going to say, are we insulting him?
He doesn't seem to know. At least he's not insulted.
Well, do you know a person by the name of Ugg Funk Stink Bottom? The best name I've ever heard.
I have heard of him. He's somewhat famous.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh.
He wanders the swamps, I think, beyond the tollways, I think.
could you take us there?
I could try, but the tollways, they go right through Agdon's lands.
Do I know an Egdon?
Agdon Longscarf, you said you were going to get my head back from him.
Oh, that one.
Oh.
He's famous, too.
Well, we can do both.
Yeah,
On the way.
perhaps feed two birds with one stone.
No, he's not a bird. He's a herringon. He's like a rabbit.
Sorry,
He walks on
it's a turn
like
of
two
phrase.
legs, and he's quick, and he's mean, and he has this really long scarf. That's why they call him Long Scarf.
Well,
Wonderful.
let's go talk to him. It's on the way. Maybe he'll understand and give you your head back.
Oh, good luck with that. I hope so. I'm not very convincing myself. But maybe if we do have a chance, if you made it out of Bavlorna's without getting cursed or worse, then maybe you got a chance. Maybe you're smarter than I am.
So far, anyway.
Just luckier, maybe.
Oh, yeah, definitely luckier. You all still have your heads.
Yeah.
Oh, let's try and keep it that way.
All right, so are you going to leave Downfall then? Head out into the swamps?
I think so.
Does anybody want to talk to this Baron Illig character, or are we just gonna leave him to his own devices?
Well, do we think he's local or?
You don't know. The note didn't give you like an address or anything, so it's like
I assume he was
most-
local.
whoever gave you the note, I mean, they were right there. So who knows if this note was written hastily for some other reason. There's also charm still somewhere around this place. You had
That's
mentioned
what I would
possibly
like to tie up if possible.
finding her.
Oh, yeah, maybe we should find Charm before she leaves.
Let's go then.
Yeah, heading back out into the swamp, you might be out there for a few days.
Yeah.
Clapperclaw tells you that the Brigands' Tollway, where Agdon and his Herringon bandits reside, is about it's about a day traveling in the swamps, especially with the snail's pace that you guys go, and that the lands beyond the Tollway, where you might find Ugfunk, that's probably another half a day or a day as well. He tells you that there's a lake out there beyond it that is known for having mystical and magical beasts and monsters. They say that something lives in the waters there, but he's never gone that far, and he can't tell you for certain if any of that is true. But that would be, you'd be out for days if you're going to go all that way.
Yeah.
All right. You just begin sort of wandering around Downfall, looking for this lightning balloon that Charm had mentioned.
All right.
All right.
And she gave us directions.
She pointed to like the northeast. If we want to say that there's directions here, it's kind of hard to say if there is north, south, east, and west. But for the sake of ease, we'll say northeast.
What did we want to talk to Charm about again?
Typically, any information on Glean, anything about the shadows and what they do, and perhaps what we could do to retrieve the memory that Glean's shadow stole from me.
All right.
Yeah. I know it's a bit out of the way, but I feel like any information could help.
Anything to get your memories back, Silvera.
And anything to get your feelings back, Thorn. And I kind of bump him on the arm.
Mine's not so bad.
Thorn, you also know that there's two of you that know that whatever you lost feels to be here.
Yeah.
Silvera and Sam, they don't have that same feeling. I'm not sure if you've shared that out loud with them or not. But
I don't remember if we have.
I feel like you haven't. I feel like I was wondering about it. Like the two of you have said, like maybe mentioned a couple things, and you've asked Bavlorna. Bavlorna said that she didn't have Sam's, and I'm not sure if Silvera asked her or not, or even brought it up.
So I'll go ahead and mention now then. You know, this sounds weird, but I just have a feeling that what I lost is here somewhere. Do you feel that way?
No. I don't.
I got that feeling a little bit.
Well, also...
Sam, what about you?
Me? No.
Well, also, what we saw, Tana, that looked like Bavlorna. You know, one of her little creatures.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's here. Maybe if we complete these tasks, everything will be better. Everything will go smoother. I don't know.
Here's hoping. But Silvera, yours was... it was a shadow that took your memories, right? And what...
It was the last thing I saw before I blacked out and woke up outside the carnival. So that's what I assumed had taken my memories.
Well, we should definitely talk to Charm then. And Sam,
For sure.
What did you see again, Sam?
Oh, what did I see? I think it had something to do with Sow Pig.
It was a little girl in a
right.
pig mask, right?
Yeah.
That was Sow Pig. You saw Sow Pig. You've spoken to her now a few times in the carnival.
I may have threatened her a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
I got lost when you all were talking to her. I was playing tag with the kids.
And that is why you are now a king, Your Majesty. And I bow to you.
Oh, well, you don't need to do that. Maybe I better put this away. I take the crown off and put it away.
Drawing undue attention. As you're having this conversation, you're floating across the lake, heading to the northeast on the snail. You pass by a couple more of the bullywugs that are just lounging about in another rowboat. One is kind of just slowly going. The one that's being towed has some sort of a stringed instrument that it's kind of plucking out. It's horribly out of tune and warped because of the weather here, but they seem to be just happy, doing nothing. And they notice Thorn, pulling the crown off and putting it away. And one of them stands up and gives like a big bow. And then the boat rocks and it falls out into the water. And they're both kind of just like scrambling about as you continue on.
I give him just an acknowledging
one of them on a
wave.
log. Sorry.
What was it?
I was just saying I give him an acknowledging wave, friendly wave.
The one that's still on the boat waves. It has like this weird bullywug smile. The other one's like trying to get to the back into the boat and keeps slipping off the side. And the other one just casually starts rowing, making it harder. You end up sort of circling this large structure on the northeast side of the lake. It looks almost palatial. It's the largest structure you've seen in Downfall. The rest you've seen from a distance are huts and kind of you saw like a watchtower made of wood. But this actually seems to have some walls to it. It's got multiple sort of areas to it. There's a dock that's attached to it. You see a couple of bullywug knights standing on that dock, kind of like keeping watch. You go around that though, and you can see beyond it. There is like this sort of open field area. The lake kind of goes further, kind of right next to that field, kind of circling around on this little island where this large structure is, and this field kind of right next to the structure stands. The further you go, the closer you come to this, and you can hear it first, like the sound of thunder, like cracking in the distance, like. And as you come closer, you begin to see flashing lights in the mists ahead. As you pass this field, you come within sight finally of the source of this sort of small contained lightning storm. And it seems to be like a cloud that's just floating about, 60, 70 feet or so above the lake itself. But there's like a ring that circles it and lines that come down from that ring to kind of moor it into like above the swamp so it can't move. And then other lines that drop down to some sort of structure at the bottom of it. Looks a little bit like a balloon basket, but a little bit bigger. And it has like this little window in the side of it. And it's sitting at the end of a pier that attaches to that length of land just north of the large structure. And it looks like bottled lightning in a way. Like somebody has captured a storm cloud and harnessed it with these cables and these devices and attached it to this small structure below.
Cool.
Whoa.
Gotta get me one of them.
Awesome.
So the best way to get to this place would be to just return to land and then cross over the bridge, because the bridge leads right to the opening of this structure at the bottom of the cloud. You end up sort of walking over there, the storm cloud above, little flashes of lightning kind of, illuminating you from above as you get closer. It's a little disturbing, but it doesn't seem to be dangerous. At least none of the lightning seems to be able to pass by these rings that are containing it. When you approach the structure that's underneath the cloud, you find that there is this large basket. Really, is what it is. It looks sort of like a merchant's stall, but it's fully enclosed and it's made of light wicker so that it could be, moved. And it doesn't look like it's permanently attached to the end of the pier. It feels like it's a modified balloon basket in a way, but it's pretty big. It's about like 10 feet tall and maybe about 15 feet around or so. And there is a little window into it, which has like a pane of gray glass. Right now it's currently closed, but above the opening there's a sign that reads "Wondrous Wares and Fair Fares."
Just a simple door leading in?
The door is sort of built into the side, and it's closed. The window stands to the kind of like a little bit to the side of it, and that's where the sign is. It's almost like a merchant's or like a vendor's window for like a stall that someone might have in like a market square or something.
Okay. I'll approach the door and knock a couple times and attempt to open the door.
All right, the door doesn't open. You kind of rattle a little bit, rattle like there's a handle on it. It seems locked, but a moment later, the glass on that window kind of creaks open, and you see this face peer out from the darkness within. It's kind of a little gnomish in appearance at first, but it's got like this long nose, and it's like this tiny rat-like almost face. It's shorter than a regular person, probably about you would guess Tana's size, about gnomish in height proportions. It's wearing this cloak that covers most of its face. Its eyes are dark and beady, and it looks at your group and says, "Well, what do you want? What do you want?"
A woman named Charm. We met her earlier, and we wanted to speak with her about some things, and she said to meet her here. Is she in?
Yes, she's here. And it pops back inside, and you hear sort of a grumbling from below. Who's that? And it says, somebody looking for Charm. And the other voice responds, well, go get her. Hurry up. We got our game to get back to. And you hear kind of like a stomping into this structure. Doesn't seem to go very far. In fact, you would imagine that this conversation probably could be heard from the window. This place is, like I said, it's like 15 feet around. If she's here, she probably heard this. And a moment later, the face kind of returns to the window, pops into the opening, and then sliding up kind of out of the darkness behind it is Charm. She says, you've arrived.
Yes, is now an okay time to talk?
Yes, as good a time as any. I think we'll be leaving soon, but we have time.
How soon?
Not sure just yet. I'm waiting for something.
Okay. Should we come inside or go somewhere in town to talk?
This is good. Right here. Look around. No one is close. You look back. The pier goes like about 20, 30 feet or so before it even gets to the shore, and you can see no bullywugs in this area at all.
Okay.
You're literally like at the edge of town. Beyond the balloon, it just goes off into the lake, like outside of these little islands that most of Downfall seems to be built upon.
Gotcha. So I guess my first question is, who are you, and are you possibly related to Gleam?
I am not related to Gleam. She is an elf. Selenelian twin, I believe, is what I've heard her called. She and her sister came to Yon years ago. They wanted something from Endelin. I don't know what it was, but the deal they made, whatever it was, didn't work out in their favor. You asked about my shadow. You thought that I was Gleam.
I did, and again, my apologies for stirring things up for you and Bevlorna in a possibly negative way.
Yes. What do you need from her? What do you really need from her?
From whom?
You're not just here to do good deeds, I think.
Well, she took my dreams, and then she also took my brother's sense of hot and cold. So kind of want to get those back.
And that's all.
Well, also, our foster mother and Sulfira's father are missing somewhere here. But Bavlorna said she hasn't seen them.
What do they look like?
Well, our mother's a dwarf. And she's, I don't know, a bit of an adventuring type, smokes a pipe.
And their names?
Oh, that is, sorry, Mavra.
My father's name is Thinnis.
And they would be together. You think?
I don't know.
Likely, yes. They came here together, so I would hope that they still are together.
They came here at the same time. We don't know if they came together.
Cannot say those names are familiar to me, but I travel quite a bit between these different realms. Perhaps I could ask around.
That would be helpful.
What would you ask in return?
You're already sharing information with me. I'll share information with you. That is what I do. I learn.
Are you? I'm sorry?
I learn things.
That would be very nice.
Skeptical.
So you trade in information?
I do.
What can you tell me about this shadow magic of yours? How did it happen? Is it something you practiced or something that happened to you?
Just something that Endelyn does. She has many gifts, and with one of those gifts, she has the ability to snip one's shadow away. Sometimes it is done as a punishment. In my situation, I was able to negotiate a more favorable punishment, and she returned my shadow to me.
Is her shadow back?
You don't see it. When you're looking, you kind of look around, seeing if she's casting one, and it doesn't seem like she is.
Thorn is visibly confused. Sorry, Brandon.
That's okay.
That's all. Thorn's visibly confused. Go ahead.
What's new?
Must be a day ending in Y.
So, do you work for Endelyn then?
No, I am not beholden to her. But
I will insight check the crap out of it.
Go ahead.
If possible. Come on, roll of the night. First one. That's an 8. Plus 5. 13. Good start. Good start. Nowhere to go but up. Kind of.
You don't think that she's telling a lie, but you suspect that because she barters in information, she seems to. You suspect that she may have some sort of relationship with Endelyn. You don't know what it is. It's a little suspicious. You're getting sort of like the same sort of vibes that Tana gets upon meeting everybody.
Where did you come from? Are you from the Feywild originally? Are you human? Are you an elf?
No, not exactly. We were Fey once, the Darklings. But our race was cursed generations ago. Some ended up like them. She gestures to the little figure that's next to her. And when you're looking at it, you realize that their skin tone is very similar. There's a lot of coloration, and it's almost as if this smaller creature next to her is a smaller version of what she is. You can see like little pointed ears, and it has sort of like almost like elven features, but not really. It's sort of exaggerated in a way. It's like a cartoonish small version of her, and it looks male. It doesn't look female. It doesn't look like, it's not like Bev Lorna having her little copies following her around. Charm says, our race was cursed. Most of us ended up like them, but some have managed to regain a measure of nobility that we once had.
Who cursed you?
The Queen of Air and Darkness.
Queen of Errant Darkness.
Air and Darkness.
Air and Darkness. And does this queen have a name?
Tatiana.
Okay.
Does anybody have history as a skill?
I think so.
I don't. Damn. Thought I did. Wrong cleric.
No.
Not proficient.
No.
Thorn, roll a history check anyway. Because you are...
Yeah, I do have proficiency in stories. Stories and ballads and epics. So can I roll? Would that proficiency apply here?
Yes.
Okay. All right. What is this? Intelligence based?
Yeah.
So that is a 16.
You've heard this name. You've heard of the Queen of Air and Darkness, of Titania and her husband Oberon. They are, if you would want to say that there's one story about the Fae that is kind of known above all others, it would be about the Seelie Court and the Queen of Air and Darkness that rules there. There is also an Unseelie Court that has sort of like the sort of an opposite feel to it, like the Dark Fae rule there.
And the Queen of Air and Darkness is from the Seelie Court?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Or no, actually, no, it's the other way around. The Queen of Air and Darkness is from the Unseelie Court.
So, not Titania?
Not Titania. Sorry, it's just that Titania is... I had it backwards. So, or actually mixed up. Titania rules the Summer Court. And you've actually heard about Titania from Talavar, the Fairy Dragon Knight. That's where he is from. So Charm is telling you that her people were basically cursed by the Unseelie Court.
Okay.
Long, long time ago.
I will share this with everyone. Oh, I've heard of her in stories. She's supposed to rule the Winter Court or the Unseelie Court. I forget. If she cursed you, you must have. Wow, I'm sorry.
Well, it wasn't me that she cursed. It was my ancestors. Long before my time.
Is it rude to ask what for?
To tell you the truth, the original slight is not known, but it was some sort of insult that she felt that my house had made against her.
Was it just your house or all the Darklings?
My house became the Darklings, and over time, the Darklings have spread. We have become our own people.
Wow. Well, thanks for telling us.
Well, if you are continuing to travel in these realms, you will meet my people again, I'm sure. You'll find them in Yon in some places. Many of them live in Motherhorn, the seat of Endelin's power.
Anything we should know about, if we do meet any other Darklings? Things that are rude or polite or anything like that?
If you follow the rules of Prismere, you should be fine. Okay. But some of them may not treat you as nicely as I do. And one of the little ones who's been watching this is like, yeah, some of us might just want to stab you.
I like this guy.
I like this guy. He points over at Sam. And a moment later, another one pops up right next to it. Its head kind of like pushing the same. He says, which guy? Which one are you pointing at? And he points at Sam. And he says, you like him for what? You like to stab him? What do you mean like? He says, no, I like him. He's kind of funny. And he seems to like us.
Yeah, you speak your mind. You want to stab someone, you talk about stabbing them. It's kind of refreshing, really.
This guy gets it. He totally gets it. You'll do well. See, just follow his lead.
I just lean over and look at Sam like, Samarand.
What? Look, there are all kinds of different ways to make friends. You do yours, I'll do mine.
But violence, Sam.
Brandon, take an inspiration for that wonderfully disapproving tone. You never seemed more like a church matron. That was amazing.
Thank you.
The smaller ones point over towards Sofia, and they look at Sam. They say, "Don't listen to that one. That one will get you in trouble."
Yeah, see? Trouble. Who wants
I
trouble?
get people in trouble who start and cause trouble. You get yourselves in trouble. I just call it out.
Ooh, they look at each other. I think we're in trouble.
I will stand up politely.
Don't worry about it.
I see your sign says you sell things. Is this true?
Oh, yeah, we sell things, the little ones say. And Charm kind of steps aside. Says, yes, I allow them to sell some things that helps us pay the bills. Are you interested in anything?
I hold out the soggy mess of my cloak and say, do you have cloaks, perchance?
We do have one cloak. But it appears that it is probably more valuable to you than maybe you might want to pay.
I'm not sure I understand the meaning of that sentence, so I'm going to let that be, because the cost...
Charm touches her own cloak as she says that. She says, we only have one that we could sell.
Oh, the one that you're currently wearing?
Yes.
And
since I'm quite fond of it, it's quite valuable to me.
And I would certainly not ask someone for the cloak off of their back. Thank you for the information. I don't have any other questions at the moment. Do any of you?
Well, we have other things to sell if you are interested. And one of the little darklings on the windowsill juts down for a second. And then when it comes back, it's got like this little rolled up scroll, which it throws over the edge of the window, and it unrolls so that you can read kind of a small list. At the top it says, available for a limited time only. First thing, a very good thimble, fingertip not included. And it has a mug of bumble beer. Has a nice sting to it. Dusk mallow pie with decorative bite marks. A bundle of dry wood. Great for starting fires. Ink portraits. If we have to look at you, so should you. And then the last thing on the list is moonlight monocle. No more fumbling in the dark.
Oh. How much for the bundle of dry firewood?
That one comes kind of cheap. I don't know. What are we charging for a bundle of dry firewood these days? And the other Darkling kind of looks back at Charm, and Charm kind of just gestures like, this is all you. Like she kind of doesn't have an interest in this. They think for a moment, and one says, what about, He kind of looks at your group. Maybe a couple locks of hair?
Oh. From my knowledge, I want to think back to the stories that I know about fairies. How risky is giving up some locks of hair?
Roll a story check for me.
And can I roll an insight check on this guy?
Sure.
Can I try to recall any type of weird religious practices or rituals that would involve hair?
Sure.
Or other body parts?
Well, they said it was cheap, so hopefully it's not anything too...
I only got a 7.
You only got a 7. Yeah, you can't think of anything. You're like, this sounds like... I can't think of anything this sounds like. You're just kind of stumped on this sort of story. What about Silvera?
I got a 16.
A 16. Yeah, you've heard of some rituals that maybe not require, but can use things like fingernail clippings and hair and stuff like that. Some of them typically have to do with location spells and scrying effects, although they could also be used for rituals to curse somebody or even lift a curse.
I don't.
What was your insight check?
18.
18. Sam, you don't think that they're trying to screw you over with this? Despite Sofia getting like, you look over at me, Sophia's like, this looks like you're thinking of all the terrible things they can do with the strand of hair. Sam, you don't know any of these things, but you don't sense any real malicious like intent here. Maybe a little bit of poking fun. Like there might be something here, but you don't think that they're trying to hurt you.
I think it's fine. It's fine. We can trust these guys.
You can totally trust us.
I don't think we can trust anyone here at all. No offense to you.
This one's not fun at all.
No, she really isn't.
All right. Well, are you interested in something, or are you going to let your mom just tell you not to buy it?
Well, yeah, tell me more about that Moonlight Monocle.
Me? There are all sorts of horrible things that people can do with hair and fingernails, and I list like a number of the things off.
And they start listing things too, and they're like, put them in pies, burn them, make wigs. And one of the guy next to me is like, that's not a bad thing. And he said, you haven't seen the wigs my mom makes. They're terrible. When you ask about the monocle, Charm actually steps forward and says, the monocle is something special. That has a cost as well. It might be something you could pass, that you might be able to live without. There are two options for it.
Okay.
One, for the monocle, if you give me the color of your eyes, I'll give it to you. If that is something you can't part with, then I'd take the rhythm of your step.
Well, that would be useful if there were worms, but...
Well, what's the monocle do?
It's magic. It uses darkling magic. It would let you see in the dark.
I already can do that.
I can already do that for everybody here. Thank you. I don't think we need to trade aspects of ourselves for items. Everybody, I think we should go.
What's a little color? We don't have any color, as you see.
Beautiful my eyes are. No, you're not getting that.
And you're saying you're going to take the rhythm out of our steps, so somebody will what? Walk with a limp? Or stumble the rest of their life? Like that's
just a very small limp. Mostly,
that is a very open.
It would make it awkward at dances.
Hard pass, but thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Sam, you got really nice looking eyes. You shouldn't do that. But my ugly mug, I don't need my eye color.
No.
Well, we don't need the monocle.
Thorn, there is fine print in almost every deal here that we can't understand. So please don't trade aspects of yourself to people for stuff.
Oh, okay. Could
Are
I
you sure?
you in gold?
Can you see in the dark? One of them says to Thorn.
No, I can't.
You could with this! And they hold it out. One of them starts like modeling it like on the table and sticks it in its eye and is like kind of trying to look dapper.
It's okay. I don't really need it. I would buy it for Sam, but Sofia doesn't think it's a good idea.
Does Sam even need it?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Oh, well.
I am not telling you not to get it. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to be overtly cautious of giving parts of ourselves away in a place that we don't understand how the rules necessarily work.
Also, we're here to get stuff back.
Yeah.
True.
Speaking of which, I want to turn over to Glimmer and just turn over to her and just ask real quick. If we were trying to get something back from, the woman who took something from Silvera, what would they want? What do they want? Do they want more like errands? Do we have to unclog an evil maker pool? Like, what do they need?
But for Endelin? Do you think that Endelin has something from her?
Oh, right. I didn't tell you that. But yeah, we need to get something back.
She buried the lead there a little bit. She looks over at Silvera.
I'm sorry, I was remembering all of the things that you can do with hair. Sorry.
Something was taken from you. Something by Endolin.
Yes. Yes. The memory
And you want
of
it back, of course.
my mother. Yes. I would like to know who my mother is.
Like, what does Endolin want or need? What can we supply her with? Does it have to be hair? The color of my eyes is brown, so I could get rid of that.
We can't make deals on her behalf, and our magic is separate from hers entirely. What she wants changes day to day, but one thing that she loves more than anything else is a good show. She runs a theater at Motherhorn, brings in the best entertainers that she can find, storytellers, actors, musicians. If you can impress her, sometimes that is enough.
I look at Sam and Thorn, and I'm like, very good.
We can try.
Someone capable of grasping the Witchlight monarch's crown might stand a chance.
Wow. It's a good thing I have this, then. I pull out the crown.
She saw it before.
She's seen it, yeah.
Yeah.
Put it away.
Oh, right.
I just start digging through my bag, and I'm like, well, I guess, and like I take out some glitter, I take out some yarn. I'm like, I guess I'll be in charge of costumes.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Whatever she needs, it changes day to day. But entertain her, make her happy. Entertain the masses, make them happy. And that would go a long way. But I would be careful with her. If you have ulterior motives, she's very good at seeing. She's very good at seeing the future, seeing what those that come to her realm are truly interested in.
That's right. It's said that she's seen her own death, right?
Charm kind of gets quiet at that and looks at you kind of a little suspiciously. Where did you hear that?
In the carnival. There are some beings there that are very ancient, that have heard and seen many things. And we befriended them and helped them a little bit. And they shared with us some very
what did they tell
useful
you?
Insights.
Wait.
Brandon.
What's it worth to you?
How about some of that dry firewood?
No, the monocle, Thorn, the monocle.
Oh, right. The monocle.
It's too bad you almost had a deal there.
I mean,
Check my inventory. What's in my
we could
inventory?
still do it for the dry firewood.
What? If the things that you have learned are true, if you think that they're valuable, I might consider the monocle.
Oh.
But it depends on... You're going to have to sell me on this.
Out of game, I lost my notes for that session, so I'm like looking. I keep looking at them, like these are the other ones.
I Thorn, take my inspiration. So, how about that firewood?
Thank you. Oh man,
It reminds me when you were DMing and like you were playing that old guy that was senile.
oh, that was one of my favorite role-playing moments ever. The reaction from the table. Wow. We'll tell that story sometime.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've heard this one. Sofia, Brandon, did you come up with something?
Yes. Silvera kind of closes her eyes for a minute and thinks, the creature that told us this said that she saw a prophecy that she will be killed during an eclipse. And that's all they said. I feel it's somehow fitting for her name, Moongrave and all.
A bit ironic, really.
Interesting. Very interesting. Have you heard things about the others, the other sisters of the Coven?
We've heard some, yes.
What have you heard about them?
Well, we gotta know we're getting a deal first.
I nudge Tana, and I say, well, yeah, what's it worth? I couldn't think of anything.
Charm reaches down underneath the sill, and when she comes back up, she is holding this black piece of glass that has like a little chain attached to it. And this must be the monocle that she's mentioned. She says, this is what you're interested in. This is the magic that I have, the most powerful item I have for trade. Tell me what you know about Bavlorna.
We do know something about her.
She's looking for some things. She sent us on some missions, actually.
We know more than that.
She has an allergy.
An allergy?
Mm-hmm. Throw in the firewood and we've got a deal.
She looks down to the darkling next to her and she says, get the firewood. And he looks up like, okay, but really it's heavy. She's like, go get it now. And it slips down out of view and you hear kind of rustling in the back, in the darkness beyond. An allergy to what?
She reportedly is allergic to people running around her widdershins.
Really?
That's what we were told.
We were told, yeah.
This makes sense. How curious. How curious. She slides the monocle across the windowsill towards you. And a moment later, you hear like the sound of like wood kind of clattering behind. And then she steps out of the way and the darklings are like, the little ones are pushing up this bundle of wood into the window.
I take the wood and put it in my pack, now vacated of all that armor.
I think our deal is done.
Great, fair trade.
Yes, indeed.
Doing business with you.
And you as well.
Hey, Thorn, I think you're the only one that this monocle helps, so why don't you hold on to that?
Oh, great.
You needed more accessories.
Yeah. Now you got the crown and the monocle, you're looking like a proper gentleman.
Oh, he also has the pin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, quite lordly.
He uses a top hat and a cane.
Oh.
How would the top hat go on top of the crown? Or would the crown
goes on top of the top hat?
Yeah.
Clearly.
Clearly.
Or it goes around the base of the top hat, so the top hat
it goes around the base
of the crown.
There is a way that we can make this work.
Now I'm going to take the top hat and put a Burger King crown around the base of it.
Yeah. All right, so you have made a deal with the Darklings. You've given them some information they didn't have. Oh, here we go. I thought there was more to it than that. Someone was ready. Oh, he's getting something else.
Uh-oh. The costume closet.
He's going to show up with a monocle, I think.
Hey!
Nice.
There we go.
Who says you can't do it?
Look at
Gorgeous.
that. Look at that. Such has been spoken, thus it must be done.
There's something like Dr. Seussish about that in some way, like that this hat with like a crown around it and like other stuff. All right, so this deal has been made with the Darklings. They've given you the Moonlight Monocle. You've given them some dirt on Bavlorna and some information on Endelin. And maybe some more information on yourselves. Who knows what they're really buying here.
Interesting.
But as you've made this deal, Charm says, I think we're going to stick around here for a little bit longer. If you have any trouble with Bavlorna recovering the things that you're trying to get from her, let us know.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
What did you say the monocle was called again?
The Moonlight Monocle, I believe it's called. Moonlight Monocle.
Awesome.
It basically acts as goggles of night. Will let you see in the dark.
Cool.
Gives you dark vision out to 60 feet. Does not require attunement or anything like that. So you could throw that thing on right now and look cool.
Does the dark vision only come out of one eye, though? So you have, like, normal vision here and then dark vision here. So there's, like, this weird depth perception. Like, if you're wearing one sunglass.
It's like that guy from the last Starfighter that has the thing that comes over his eye.
Yes.
Like a scouter in Dragon Ball Z.
Yes.
or Boba Fett's helmet where it's just like on a stick. Whoop.
Oh my god.
Let's say yes, that it's just one eye. I think that's cool. Especially or even if it isn't just one eye, Thorn thinks it is and has to squint the whole time he's using it.
Yes. That's canon.
Yeah, tracks. Yes.
I just love this giant with all of these accessories of the monocle, the witchlight crown. Nice little
just everything we get,
pin.
we just pile on top of him.
I feel like Thorn should have to roll some sort of a skill check to wink when he's using this thing.
Intelligence check.
I never learned how to wink. He's just like blinking with this thing.
Well, would that be acrobatics or athletics?
Oh no.
Performance,
please.
What's your worst stat? We'll just make it that one.
Acrobatics.
What's your dump stat?
What's your dump stat? I have a feeling that Thorn has a couple dump stats.
A couple, yeah. He's got more than one.
All right, so anyway, they have now offered sort of like a subtle allyship with you. Like if you need more help, they have suggested you come back to them.
Very cool.
Since we're trading information, and I can ask, and you can obviously say no, have you heard of Stinkbottom? I think his name was.
Oh, Ugfunk Stinkbottom, yes.
Yeah, him.
A hunter of some renown here.
The name is somewhat familiar, but I don't believe I've ever met them. Are they a bullywug? Sounds like a bullywug name.
Yeah. I believe so.
No, I can't say that I know much about them. She was also there in the meeting when you were talking about Ugfunk, so like she knows who you're talking about, but has nothing to offer in that. She says, I don't often go elsewhere in hither, mostly just to Downfall and then back to Motherhorn and Yawn.
Fair enough.
What about what's his name? Baron Illig of Muckstump?
Of Muckstump. Have you heard of Muckstump? Is it a place?
She says, I cannot say that I'm familiar with that either. This, I'm assuming, is another bullywug name, and if bullywug names are like, if this is like any other bullywug name, he could be the Baron of that. And she points across to like that empty field, and there's like a tree stump. Like at one point, you realize he's just pointing at a tree stump near the end of the field. He could just be the Baron of that. They give themselves fancy titles all the time. I've never met one that hasn't given themselves some sort of fancy title.
Well, that doesn't... See, I'm a lady. I am a knight now. And that was given to me. I didn't give it to myself. That just... See, it doesn't mean anything if you give it to yourself.
Well, be careful about telling the bullywugs that. They may give you a new title. They may call you, who knows, the Pondflower Knight or something like that. Or it could be worse. They could call you the Knight of Stinkwater.
No.
I wouldn't mind being a pondflower.
You're giving me all kinds of ideas.
Hey, you shut up, Sam.
Lady of Stinkwater.
Whatever, Your Majesty. Getting all full of yourself now, aren't you?
Aw, I'm sorry, Tana.
I'm just joshing. It's fine.
All
right. Should we get into a swamp again?
But you're still in a swamp technically, but
we're on dry
find
land
another swamp.
you're on soggy land. Everything here is pretty much soggy. All right, so you leave Charm's lightning balloon behind. You head back to Let Us Be, mount back up on the snail. As you do, is Thorn wearing the monocle right now?
Sure. I'll wear it for a bit.
As you're mounting back up on the snail, Clapperclaw says, "What happened to your eye? Did you get blinded? Did you lose it?"
Oh no, I just have to hold my face like this so I can look through this thing.
That looks like it hurts.
It's a little uncomfortable, but I think it's okay.
All right. Are you sure he's okay? He whispers to Tana and the rest of you as you're mounting up.
He's fine. He's always like that.
He kind of looks like a villain.
But looks can be deceiving.
Thorn looks a little hurt. He doesn't say anything, but he takes the monocle off. He says, "Maybe I'll practice with this later." Tuck it in the
when
pocket.
it's dark.
Right.
It's dark.
Yeah.
Which it has never truly been dark here yet. So
that's always twilight.
It's maybe the least useful magic item ever.
You never know.
You never know.
We earned it.
You have earned that item. This is by the way, the Witchlight game is a great game to give flying potions to fairies that already have wings, and jumping potions to acrobats or monks, stuff that they don't really get much use. I already do this stuff. Here you go. Here's your prize. Here are your elven ears, Mr. Elf. I don't think we're going to take a break tonight, but does someone have a little bit of a thing that they wanted to do?
I do. We do have sponsors for tonight.
Do we have a sponsor? We should recognize our sponsors. If we're not taking a break, our sponsors deserve to have their product.
I'm so excited for our sponsors.
Right, yeah.
All right. So real quick, everyone, a word from our sponsor.
Right. Walk, run, swim, fly, gallop, slither, or teleport to your nearest Blood, Wrath, and Beyond for our drawn and quartered quarterly sale. We've got murderous discounts on all of your favorite weapons, both ranged and up close and personal. Prices are slashed down 25% on all swords and daggers, and we're passing our savings on axes, glaives, and halberds down to you, so you get them at factory cost. That's a quarter off normal retail price. And our battle axes won't nag you like your mother-in-law. You know we crush other box store prices on hammers, maces, and clubs, so don't flail about with inferior armaments. Let Blood, Wrath, and Beyond help you. Want to reach out and touch someone, but far away and with something pointy? Take aim at our wide selection of bows and various arrows, bolts, and quarrels. Perhaps a throwing knife, Francesca, or javelin is more your style. Well, we literally have barrels of all of those things just laying around. Buy 3 and get the 4th free. And for the more exotic weapons expert, try the new the short throwing spear that no one can pronounce. Here at Bloodbath and Beyond, we take pride in helping you carve swaths of destruction through whomever you decide to call your enemy. That's right, we'll never ask you about your purchases, what or whom you need them for, and we strongly encourage our customers to avoid sharing their intentions with us. And anonymity, I cannot say that word, anonymity is key, and plausible deniability works both ways. We only ask that you share with others where you got your goods from, so this blood-soaked capitalist machine can continue to thrive upon the violent and cyclical nature of mortal humanoids. And now you can scry directly into our Astral Plane Warehouse Center to see our tremendous selection of siege equipment and castle defense systems. Blood, Wrath, and Beyond. Everything to wound and maim. Sponsored by Nerultech Enterprises. Nerultech, raising your spirit again and again and again.
Is that for the end new? That was great.
Yes. Yes. Just
I don't remember that before. We now have they now have a tagline.
Last week came up with their slogan. So we're in this little business war between Nerultech and Vecnacorp.
What's the official slogan again for Vecnacorp?
Always willing to lend a hand.
Oh, good. It's only the left one, though.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy. Blood, Wrath, and Beyond. That's the place when we all get stuck in. The adventurers just go, and they just can't leave. And, like, their spouse just is like, come on. There's more to see in this mall than this place. And you're like, no. We haven't gotten to the battle axes yet.
Somebody messed with all the floor arrows, and it's now just a labyrinth.
Caltrops in aisle 8. Caltrops in aisle 8. Clean up.
Yep.
Clean up in aisles 4, 5, 6, and 18.
All right. Yeah, actually, we were going to continue on, but let's take a quick 2-minute break just so people can refill their drinks, maybe use the restroom. That way, nobody's doing, that I got to go to the bathroom dance during the next part.
I feel like I've already been kind of doing that a little bit.
All right, everyone. So we'll be back in about 3 or 4 minutes. This will be a quick break.
We'll see.
For all you Raiders, stick around.
We are back, folks. Thank you for your patience. Before we jump in, I have a quick announcement to make, which is we have a date for our next non-D&D RPG event, which is going to be White Wolf's most least known game that they ever produced, the Street Fighter RPG. And if you've never heard of it, there's a reason for that. But it is actually amazing. Totally unlike anything else they ever created. But to this date, I have had more fun with combat in the Street Fighter system than... that's been the most fun I've ever had in the tabletop RPG combat system. So, I think it's going to be a blast. It's going to be this crazy crew. I'm going to be running that one, and we'll have a ton of fun. We're also going to have a Session 0 this time, so we're going to do character creation, teaching the rules and stuff separately from the actual event. We don't have a date and time for that yet, but we'll announce it on social media as soon as we have that. So, come check out one of the wackiest RPGs to ever come out of the 90s. September 22nd. Or September. What year are we in?
January. Try January.
We're in 2025, I believe.
22nd. I thought it was 19.
We're in the year is 2029.
We're in month 30 of 2020, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right. There's dates. I can have dates.
All right, so we are back, returning to Wild Beyond the Witchlight. The group has just met with some Darklings, had learned some information, given out some information in trade for a magic item that is now in Thorn's possession, the Moonlight Monocle. They are now planning, I believe, to leave Downfall, head back into the swamps, track down a brigand who stole their guide's head. Their guide being Clapperclaw, the small scarecrow. This strange little creature who knows the way to the joining realm of Thither, which is ruled by Bavlorna's sister, Skabatha Nightshade, also called Granny Nightshade. But in order to get there, the only way they can is with Clapperclaw leading the way, and Clapperclaw didn't want to leave Hither without his real head. So now they're on a bit of a quest to find it and get it back from this brigand who stole it. En route to this area of Hither that is called the Brigand's Tollway. This tollway is the area that that Clapperclaw has come through before. He's seen the Harengon before that run this place, agged on himself is a Harengon, the rabbit folk that live around the tollway. It's described as a network of sort of bridges and wooden walkways that surround this ancient stump of a tree that at one point before Bavlorna's time as the ruler of Hither stood as this great oak in the land. At some point it was cut down and has become now sort of like the base for Agdon and his brigands. As you're making your way through the swamps, floating along occasionally on the shell of your snail steed, let us be, Clapperclaw has a few moments to kind of tell you a little bit what he knows about Agdon, like the lore of it. And the story is that Agdon himself, in days gone by, made a name for himself and his band of Harengon miscreants by menacing travelers throughout the Feywild domains, not just here, not just in this area, but elsewhere. But when he came to Prismere and started sort of troubling travelers in this realm, he earned the wrath of Zybilna back before the Hourglass Coven took command. And as punishment for Agdon's offenses, Zybilna demanded that he give up this beloved scarf that he had, the thing that he had become known for. The name is his name, Agdon Longscarf. And when he refused, Zybilna cursed him so that he would never be able to remove it. She then took a nail and she pinned him to a young sapling. And this nail was magic. It was made of like iron and gold and enchanted by her fey powers. And then she bade this tree to grow, and it grew to a great height until its branches raked the clouds. This is sort of the story as it's told. And apparently Agdon was carried into the sky with this tree and was stranded there for years and years, maybe decades. But when the Hourglass Coven arrived, this changed things for Agdon. With Zybilna no longer in the picture, Agdon's gang of Harengons went to Bavlorna and convinced her to set him free. So, as the story goes, Zybilna somehow removed this nail Bavlorna removed the nail that Zybilna had placed in the tree, had freed him from his imprisonment, and let him go kind of rampant into Hither. Now, all of you know that Bavlorna does not make deals without some sort of consequence. And Clapperclaw suspects that Agdon basically functions as a sort of tax collector in a way for her. He steals from people in Hither. She doesn't punish him. She doesn't, apparently hold him to the rules of Prismere and that you don't steal. And Clapperclaw suspects that part of what Agdon steals ends up making its way to Bavlorna at some point. He tells you that from what he understands, he doesn't know if all of this story that he was told is true. He heard it first from Harengons when he was captured. They gave him sort of like the whole story about how grand Agdon was. And it's possible that this story is overblown. It's possible that it's not. You have no other way of sort of telling the truth of it. But those that you have kind of bumped into in Downfall and Clapperclaw himself have a pretty high opinion of Agdon's abilities. He is infamous.
So in terms of his abilities, is he like fighter or does he have strong magics?
Clapperclaw says that he has both. He's quick, super fast. Never seen anyone move like that before. He's here 1 second and gone the next. When they sing about him in his trailing scarf, that's true. That must be some sort of magic. And he carries with him this branding iron. It is very, very hot. At least it looks very hot. It glows red. And, well, when he threatened me with that, I had nothing but to do but to agree to his demands. And that's when he took my head. You see, fire is very bad for scarecrows. I'm made with stuffing. And he pulls out like some straw from a pocket and then kind of shoves it back into his clothes.
Tana's very curious on how that works, but she just lets it be. She doesn't pry.
It's sort of like he pulled out his guts and showed them to you, and then put them back.
Like she wants to ask clearly as somebody who sews and makes pillows and patches and the whole bit, but she's not gonna.
He's built like somebody sewed him together.
Ideas.
All right, so, well, Chad, you better say something.
I was just going to say, you want to start making your own little minions to follow us around?
Mayhem.
If they're stuffed, that would be adorable.
I know, right? It's like a whole army of teddy bears.
Oh my
Just
god.
little patchwork teddy bears.
That's how you know you're in the Feywild.
I love this game.
All right, so that story being said, you make your way deeper into the swamps. You soon enough come to these wooden ramps that seem to sort of like you find one, and then like you makes your travel a lot easier because it's like it rises you above the muck of the land. They even are like bridging some of the gaps of water. Your snail doesn't travel particularly fast, but it's quicker when you stay to these walkways. And the further you go, the more of these walkways you see. And there seems to be more than are even necessary. Like, where do they all go? You don't see any place to stop. They just seem to like create a web that gets tighter the closer you get to your destination. Clapperclaw is the one that tells you, like, the more you see of these walkways, the closer it means we're getting to that stump, to the great stump where Agdon holds his own court, with his brigands.
Is that the stump of the tree that he was nailed to?
I think so. I mean, it could be. The stump was huge when I saw it. His whole camp can sit on top of it. He had like all of his people up there and a throne as well.
Does Sibilna have the nail? Or sorry, not
you mean by Bavlorna?
Bavlorna.
He doesn't know. That's all. I don't know. It's just a story they told me. I didn't think to ask who kept, the nail or where if it even was real.
That's quite the story. Well, maybe we can ask them.
You can try, but they're probably just going to ask for all of your goods. And like this, by goods, I mean the things that were good in your life. I don't really want stuff most of the time. I hadn't had anything really good happen to me except for when I escaped from thither. That was about the only thing that was good. So they took my head.
Well, they can't have our goods.
Yeah, we need those.
Perhaps we can barter with the gourd we found on them earlier.
The gourd is the thing that you think maybe they were using to steal goods because they were asking for like happy memories and stuff.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, do we really want to give that back to them?
Your goods?
Well, no, we wouldn't want to give it to them, but perhaps we could maybe use that as the bargaining chip.
Well, I'm not sure we want to let them have it back at all.
Well,
I'm definitely not giving it back to them. These aren't their memories. They need to go back to the people they belong to.
You're not right. I was trying to form some sort of trickery thing, and I shouldn't do that. I don't have the money
dangerous
for it.
here.
I mean, I like a little bit of trickery, but I just don't want to give these away.
Do you?
No, do you? I guess I was thinking if we could somehow uncork it halfway through, if we had gotten what we needed from them. Never mind.
I'm worried they would use it to steal more good memories from people.
They probably will.
If they got lots of gourds that can do that, then I guess it doesn't make any difference. But if this is what they need, I'd rather not let them have it. People shouldn't be going around stealing memories.
Absolutely not.
Thorn's got that little set to his jaw, like he's very firm on this.
I don't know much.
The king has spoken.
The king has spoken. I decree this is not good.
Well,
that reminds me. Do you think I should put this on when we go talk to them? I get the Witchlight crown out.
I don't think he really bows to authority.
Yeah.
You were wearing it when we got here, and they first attacked us, right?
I don't remember.
Does that make you a king?
Actually, with keen mind, Sofia would remember if Thorn came in with your crown on.
Yeah, Thorn was wearing the crown back then. In fact, I think they even mentioned it, and then they still tried to rob you.
There you go. There's our answer.
Yep.
But they also, they called, the Herongon called Agdon the Brigand Prince of Prismere. So maybe they consider him also, royalty in some way. At least the bandits that you encountered. If you are trying to impress someone, that does help. If you activate it.
True.
Oh, you mean its ability?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does have that additional ability that when you activate it, it gives you quite a significant bonus to charisma checks, I think.
Oh, nice.
Like a +5 or something.
I never actually got everything it does. I should get that from you at some point.
Maybe I should tell you now. It gives you.
Sure.
I could. I feel like here. Hold on. I got it right here. All right. So the charm of the monarch is basically what this crown is called. And when you activate the charm, you sprout a pair of beautiful butterfly wings. And as long as you have the wings, you gain a flying speed equal to your walking speed, as well as a +5 bonus on all charisma-based ability checks. These last for 1 hour. You can use the charm 3 times. I think you've used it once so far.
Okay. And after the third time I use it, it's gone?
After the third time, you can't use those abilities, but the crown still remains. You are still considered a Witchlight monarch, even if the magic of the charm has dissipated.
I thought you told me last time I could use it 4 times. And I'd used it once.
Was it 4 times? I think I admit because you got the first one for free when you were in the carnival.
Okay, got it.
When it was given to you, the charm was activated. Then you had 3 more times after that.
So it's effective.
And you used 1 when you rescued Talavar.
So I've got 2 board uses.
Yes.
Well, I'm not sure I want to spend one of those on this.
Yeah, I don't know if we can charm him and get what we need. We could try to bargain, or we could try to fight. And I take out my swords. Kind of eager.
I'm concerned that our quarry will be leaning more towards that side based on what we did to his colleagues.
Clapperclaw says, "What do you mean? What did you do to his colleagues?"
Well,
some of them attacked us kind of as soon as we got here, demanding good memories from us, and we defended ourselves. And I think unintentionally we killed 2 of them.
You what?
They didn't mean to.
Oh, dear.
Well, they were trying
no.
to get us.
I thought we were going to try to convince them to give it back, but if you killed some of his brigands, then he's going to be mad.
Yeah. Maybe we could sneak in and get your skull.
Ooh, now you're speaking my language.
And now I'm speaking his language.
And as you're speaking his language, you see in the mists ahead of you that these causeways you're walking along, they seem to converge on a large thing ahead of you. Seems a few hundred feet away, and you're just barely sort of making out this this thing that looks like the shape of a large tree stump. And as you come a little closer, you can see that it rises at least 20 feet or so above the fog-shrouded banks of the swamp below. It's at least 100 feet across, maybe a little bit more. So if you can imagine a tree that is 100 feet wide, at one point this tree, which is now gone, truly was unbelievably huge. And just as you're seeing, like you're getting a grasp of this thing ahead of you, you all get this weird feeling. You become aware slowly that somewhere, like as you were passing through these fogs, you picked up another passenger on lettuce. Oh. Like you're all kind of sitting on this thing together and chatting about this. And Sam is like, yes, speaking my language. And as soon as you say that, there's another voice says, yes, speak his language. That's a great language to speak. Let's sneak in. And you look over, and kind of crouched between like Sam and Thorn is another hooded figure that wasn't there a few moments ago. And it turns its face to look up at Sam, and it has this rabbit's-like eyes, a sort of like pinkish, and this white face, and it smiles with these big teeth that rabbits have. And it says, "Welcome to the Brigands' Tollway," and then it leaps off of lettuce ahead of you, landing nimbly on the causeway ahead, and it throws this cloak away, flutters off, and just lands in the swamp.
I kind of like reach out and watch the cloak.
Yeah, you reach. It was a nice cloak too. It was just your color. And beneath this cloak is a dashing Harengon figure with a long blue scarf that just seems to kind of trail off into this breeze that doesn't really exist for you. He puts his hands on his hips and says, well, who do we have here? Visitors to the tollway, here to pay the tolls, I see. And as he's speaking, you hear from the fog nearby, suddenly the sound of voices singing, and the song gets a little bit louder just as he's finishing speaking. And you recognize the words to this song. It's Agdon Longscarf's theme song. Sticks and stones will employ to break your bones and steal your joy. And they go on with this thing, talk.
Uh-oh.
When you first arrived in this land. This one, though, is a little bit fancier. These, whoever has sorry, I broke up there, I think, for a second. They have been practicing. Not only just practicing, but they have instruments as well. You hear bagpipes piping during the middle of this song, punctuating the larger parts of, right when it gets to Agdon Longscarf and talking about him being the brigand prince of Prismere. It's just like, brrr, to kind of announce him. And from the sides, kind of slowly coasting in through the mists, you see two boats. Each of them have these Harengon brigands kind of loaded up in them. One in the front with a crossbow, two working oars, and a third in the back bearing one of these bagpipes.
Thorn starts bopping along with the music.
Oblivious to the danger.
Totally oblivious to the danger. This is the scene that we have before us. And I think this is a good place to hold off until next week to see how you deal with Agdon.
Ooh. All right. What a cliffhanger.
So how many of these creatures are we seeing?
So let's end this with if you want to log into Roll20,
Oh boy.
there's a fun little map here. Ashton, if you're in,
Yeah, I'll share it.
Could you
mind
share in
popping
the chat?
link in the chat? Yeah.
yeah, 1 second.
Also, it's still showing... Oh, wait, maybe that is the right map.
Hold on, let me check to make sure I've dragged you over. Yeah, you should be over there. You may have to reload if it's not showing it.
It's been a while since we've had a map. I'm excited.
Been a while.
It looks like it's showing up. Here. All right. I am showing our viewers the map. So do you want to give us a tour of what we're seeing here?
What we're seeing here, this is the Brigand's Tollway. These are all these wooden bridges and walkways that they use to approach their brigand tree. That is their home base. You can see that you are basically about to be crossing one of these bridges. You're on your snail, all packed together, and Agdon stands on the bridge ahead of you, blocking your way forward. Boats to the north and the south filled with herringons. A couple of them with crossbows at the ready, and the others just working the oars and playing music and singing.
Cool. Oh, I can't wait.
Cool.
I know. I'm so excited.
This is going to be. We don't know if this will be combat, but I made this map just for this.
I
mean, it might
about
not be
to ask,
combat.
Rob, is that one of your maps?
This is one of my maps. So
Nice.
this adventure
That's
is
so cool.
awesome, but they don't have enough maps for all of the different areas that you could find yourselves in, and this is one of them. They describe it, but there's no map at all. It's just like and the way that they describe it, like the approach to this grand tree and these walkways everywhere and the swamps all around you, and the terrain, like I've looked and I found a couple things that are close, but like they don't quite work. And some of people have kind of cobbled things together. And there's a couple out there that are okay, but I make maps sometimes, and I made this one specifically for this encounter.
Rob, this is amazing.
Yeah, I didn't know you made this.
Straight
This is
out
great.
of the book.
Yeah, what I wanted to do is I wanted to create maps that also sort of mimic the style that was used, for instance, for Downfall. I loved the colors, like the saturation, and just the way that it's a simple kind of map. It's not like super highly detailed, but it has enough in there to give you ideas of what's going on.
Yeah,
Cool.
I love
And
the
so I
mist
also
and
wanted
the
to create
edges.
maps that follow that theme, that feel like they exist also in this adventure.
Wow,
Awesome.
so cool.
Very nice.
Love the detail of like little fireflies
Yeah.
Yep.
on there. Like, oh man, lily pads.
Yeah, they spent quite a bit of time on this one to figure out how they did things, and I did study the Downfall map a lot, which it's funny because like the Downfall map, there's only like there's a couple spots where like you could get in trouble and need like a battle map. You haven't really bumped into a lot of those, with the exception of the fight in the balloon factory. But it's a beautiful map. I love it. I love how they designed the look of this adventure just in general, in like the map of Hither with the swamps and like the leaning tower that you kind of came to. This they call it the slanty tower. By the way, I'm making that map as well. There's although you've already been there, maybe you'll go back at some point. But for people watching the stream, I'm creating more maps for this adventure as we go along. And when the players get to play with them, I'll be releasing them, and you'll be able to get to use them if you want to. We need to find a way so that people can get them.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Let's talk
Hello.
later.
Yeah. Maybe,
Yeah,
like,
we'd love to
email
make
them
those
to
available for
subscribers
you
or
guys
something.
who are watching.
We will work on that. There's got to be some way to sort of get these into the hands of people that are interested in them.
So you can run your own campaign.
So you can follow in our footsteps and maybe see the same places that these players have gone to. And hopefully they don't die on one of these maps.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully. I am a little nervous about this encounter, not gonna lie.
You should be a little nervous about this encounter. You should be.
How deep does
We should
that
be a
water
lot
go?
of nervous.
How deep is the water?
Yeah.
It's deep enough for boats. So probably anywhere from 5 to 10 feet deep, maybe at the center.
Oh boy. Okay. All
All
right.
We
right.
could maybe talk our way out of it. We've
You might
talked
be
our
able
way
to.
out of things
We'll
before.
see.
You might be able to.
I mean, that's not what Tana wants to do, but you shouldn't always listen to her.
I don't know. Tana might need to let some anger out. She's got some rage issues, and if she doesn't, if she bottles it up too much, she gets weird.
That's true.
Tana was one of the reasons I wanted to make sure that we had this map, because I knew by the time you got here, you might be motivated enough to just forego diplomacy.
I think we are a little ready to start cracking some heads. I mean, Thorn's always peace loving, but personally, I want to kick some butt.
Thorn's peace loving, but everybody else has quicker initiatives.
Truer words.
Well, I don't know. I think I have a negative initiative.
Do you? I think Thorn does too.
Maybe we're tied for worst initiative.
What's your dex?
-1. It's 8.
Me too.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
High five.
Woo!
You guys both did fairly well, luckily, by the luck of the dice when we were putting out those fires, though.
That's true.
If I remember correctly.
You did do pretty well in that. But yeah, but Sofia also used a spell to like take out like 2 or 3 of them, I think.
Sofia has been coming in with the perfect spell for the job so many times in this campaign. I'm so
Except
impressed.
for the destroy water. I don't know.
There was a little too much water.
I thought it was
all
like
be
a
winners.
murky beast pushing up out of the well. So it was like, oh, if we destroy all the water ahead of it, we can start attacking it. And it was like, no, you just make it more acidic. Cool.
That spell has sort of saved your bacon and sort of thrown you into the fire at the same time.
Yep. It's a new one. I have to test. I have to, you can't have successes without some failures.
That's true.
Right? That's how it goes?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's a scientific method, right? You keep failing until something works. And then you just keep checking to make sure it wasn't a fluke.
Yep.
Fail up. Yep.
Fail
upwards.
Fail forward.
Fail up.
Fail up. And God forbid any of you need to make like a dexterity save.
Oh, dear.
The first time there's a fireball in this game, I have a feeling that there's going to be some sad faces.
I'll be fine.
Sam will probably be fine.
At any point on the journey so far, have we gotten a short and or long rest? How long has this journey been?
Short rest.
Okay.
The journey's been a few hours. I'll give you a short rest since you're just riding on the back of lettuce.
Okay. Cool. That
But I think you just had a long rest too. So
yeah, we had a
you should
long
be
rest
good.
before that. I know.
Yeah.
After,
Yeah, you're all
sessions
locked and
ago.
loaded.
Wait.
5 sessions ago.
After the fight with the gelatinous cube in the pool?
No, we did not take
Oh,
a long
no, we
rest after
didn't.
that.
I don't think since then.
All right. Well, I still have a rage left, so that's all I care about. I have 2.
That's all
You have 2 rages left or 2 total?
Two rages left.
I have 3 spell slots left.
Oh dear.
Spell slots. Smell slots.
All right.
1 second level though. So
All right, everyone, come back next week, and we'll see if these heroes can deal with the brigand prince of Prismere.
Yeah.
And those of you who are new, we start at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please join us again.
Thank you for
Come
joining
back,
us
please.
on a bit of our adventure. I hope I saw someone talking about sitting by a fire, enjoying a bit of the adventure. That sounds so nice. I want that. But I hope you had fun.
Go back and listen to the episode where they blow themselves up. There's an episode where they actually have dealt with a fire.
That is true.
All right.
All right, everybody, have a great night. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
have a good week,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Good night.
Stay safe.